morning, everybody, to you.
This meeting is being recorded.
And the timer I have just started to share to record the presentations. I'm going to share the. Have you seen my slides?
Yes.
Yes. So, well, the point, as usual, good morning to you. The point is that when I focus on my presentations, I can't see your comments. So, so if someone wanted to say something or wanted to share anything, so they can put on the microphone and say something, or if you use the chat, for instance. So Tamer advised me.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I will keep you informed. Yeah.
Stop me and say what this student said something, and on the other side you wanted to say something about by microphone because something had catch your attention and you need to find more information about it. So you can do whatever you want. Well, before starting this class, Tamer and myself, we are discussing something about the conclusion of this cover letter, that it was cover letter. This is Tamer told me that sometimes when you send a curriculum vitae, when you send a cover letter or curriculum vitae or resume, depends on the country. Well, sometimes you feel a point of discrimination. Okay. Now I'm going to give you some short comment, because tomorrow we will start to see some questions about what is called tough questions, pressure questions, also questions that you need to show, to ask, or whatever. So I will give you this. I will. My aim was to postpone this information for that. However, to move in advance, because I think it's very crucial for us, that is discrimination. Discrimination sometimes is very frequent, and remember that sometimes, so discriminations is a criminal offense. Okay, I think so that this is my point of view. In many countries, discrimination is a criminal offense. And we talk about discrimination, what Thomas said. We talk about discrimination about gender, discrimination about sex, discriminations about marital status, discriminations about age in terms of you are older or young, discrimination about religion, discrimination about ethics, discrimination for where you were born, discrimination about what are your thoughts about it, what you are against about different groups of people or not, discriminations about you agree with the culture of the company or not. So sometimes, to some extent, people face feel with discrimination. And discriminations against the hiring process is difficult, to some extent, difficult to control. Okay, so we will see that in terms of discriminations tomorrow, how do you need to handle questions about discrimination. But remember, believe it or not, is not something that need to be controlled from the governments. Indeed, there are governments that they are more they continue to making rules for achieving this criminal offense. For me, I will talk a criminal offense and discrimination. For me, is the same. And they need to put the rules because for it, I'll tell you the information about that when it comes that you don't need, in some countries, you don't need to put the name. It's not required to put the photo. It's not required to put the sex. You are male or woman. You need sometimes, well, you are expressed. Sometimes say, well, you need to put the name, and when the people pay the name, this kind of discriminate you. So sometimes there are countries that they are, and it's not required to put the names. You put the curriculum vitae with your professional background, with your skills, with your education, and it is not required to put never names, never photo, never ethicals, race, or whatever it is. Okay, perfect. So as I said before, yesterday we finished with these exercises, the structure of cover letter. My little summary is that you need to be try to tailor it, try to not make a big description. It's better to tailor it to be more customized. You need to customize your curriculum vitae, in terms of the different parts of the cover letter, and focus a lot of the achievement. So let's start today to talk about the model 3. Fantastic model 3, because now I wanted to remind you the parts that we studied in this the workshops. They are very, very interesting. The first, remember that you studied how to understand your what involves a process of hiring process. You understood, for instance, another issues about curriculum vitae. You understood how to handle a cover letter. So there are some issues that they are important. You understood also to make your personal assessment. So there are a lot of things that you have achieved, you have learned, and it's time from time to time to put in practice these issues. But today we want to make a very another step. Okay, this is another step, and this is a step. When you send your curriculum vitae, when you send your cover letter, it's time to go in an interview. Okay, to make the step that you have invited, you have met to go to an interview, and it is time to know what are the steps in terms of an interview. So this is my approach, and let me reinforce this idea in terms of the body language, the importance of body language before interviewing, because students, everybody, including myself, when it comes to attending, to meeting an interview, sometimes you forget body language. When you say meeting, an interview, maybe it's a meeting with a client, maybe it's a meeting with a project, maybe it's a meeting with someone that want to support you in any area. It's a meeting about a job you wanted to get for different circumstances. The idea for today is like my aim for these explanations in this model 3 is understand, even though there are N1 exercises that the people that is attending the classes today, they don't need to do what they did it on daily basis. Today we practice this, and the other people that can't attend the classes this for any circumstances, they should or they must send these exercises in order to get to accomplish the rules for this workshop. Okay, so I think it's clear. So my point is what happened in the reception area. So it shows us that it's time to enter the company that you wanted to visit, and sometimes it depends on the company. So you see different circumstances. So it's time to see, you enter the company, you as well, I've been invited, I have an interview, I need to make an interview with Mr. Maria, whatever, or Mr. Gonzalez, or Mr. Anders, Mr. Terry Lawrence, whatever it is. And this is the idea, to reinforce the idea that some extent we are focused too much in our knowledge, in our professional background, and in our educations, our skills, but forget what is the body language. And this is my approach for today, in order to invite you to get this knowledge and put in practice next time you need to go to an interview process. Well, this is a good slide, and says that you can't judge a book by its cover, but people do it all the time. So this is what I'm at. Sometimes people know you, people show you the people, will make predictions, well, this is is what is your mind, all right? It has to do with your mind. Your mindset that sometimes, well, it's mind sometimes need to the short way, instead of thinking, instead of say to decide to go according to the experience that they have, they predict something. So this is very common in our mind to predict, to judge people. Well, the importance of the body language is that that has good effect in communication. 60 and 80% has to do with communication. The people that move, they can control very well the body language, influence 5 times more than communication. So communication is not so important. Communication is not so crucial to some extent. What is more important is to control, to handle your body language, your gesture. So this is my approach for today, is in order to get advantages, to know about the body language and how you can handle it. It's true that the people that are younger, kids and children have adolescents as well, it's very easy to understand the body language. People that are older, it's very difficult because the elasticity of the skin, the body, we are getting older, everybody, believe it or not, and our skin is less elastic than when you were 20 or 15 years. But this is life. Well, premise, very important, the impression the candidate makes in interview. This is very, very important. Here we talk about shoes, we talk about dress. Well, I'm not to be too much extensive in this idea on the dress code, but let me let me explain some very common rules or tips that they are advisable for any interview. So dress code, I mean, to be neutral. Neutral in to say it, well, tight, sweet is good. Dress code for women as well. Well, this is more no jeans. Jeans is not for me advisable. Yeah, I think this is very understood. This approach is very understandable for the people that are listening to me. That pirate jeans is not what maybe it's not. The point is not when students say it, for instance, in Castellano, explain it in Castellano, the people say, well, I feel more comfortable with a pair of jeans or something like that. But remember that the company wanted to go, indeed, the business owner wanted to show that is your image and the link to the product, right? This is a connection. The business owner said, that's the person. This person might be connected with the product that wanted to sell. So that's the idea to some extent that approach. Tattoos. Well, you talk to tattoos in the Corte Inglés. It's very common. The Corte Inglés, a very big store in Alicante, in Spain. So tattoos are allowed, and people cover their tattoo with some sticks to cover it. However, nowadays, you go to the Corte Inglés, you go to the shop assistant, you can see people with looking with tattoos, because I think more or less 80% of the people have tattoos. Is it true or not? Do you agree with this idea in terms of it, or? Well, I come back to the well, I don't know. Your
for
opinion
me,
depends on the people. Okay.
For me, I agree.
Do you agree? Do you wanted to comment anything? Because sometimes I interact with the people to explain the view. It's not by myself. What would you say about tattoos? Do you agree or don't agree, or the things very common, or what's your point? No, not about judge. We are not trying to judging no one. So, you know, just say what's your view?
For me, if I am interview someone, two people, for example, with the same qualification, one of them with tattoos and the other one without, I will hire the person without.
The person was out.
Yes.
Well, okay. So that's the point. So tell me, what you said, this is what it's not the point. Every people might do whatever you would. I think you understood, but Tamer explained it. I think it's very understandable, and the point of view of Tamer is very common in any business owner. Sometimes people, well, it's not about a prejudice. People might say, it's prejudice. No, it's not about you. It's what they wanted to see, and they wanted to sell, and they wanted to use. Sometimes people imagine, for instance, selling people with a tattoo is not good for the company, or the way you see your life is not good for the product, the service. So it's a deal. So we are not talking about, it's my view, it's my requirements, my product requirement, my department, my requirements about my service, and what I wanted to find. So that's the point. Well, more things to take reactions to avoid the waiting room. So now I want you to summarize to summarize the most important points that you just make send your curriculum vitae, cover letter, and you receive an email that your meet will be today. And you decided to go to the company. You know the address. You get a good dress code, normal code, avoiding, for instance, I would say before, for me, as you said, rings, the cologne. A cologne is very particular when you put a lot of cologne in your body, and it can smell too much. So avoiding it. More things that go into things. Well, in neutral, it could be perfect, sweet, and that's with a tie. You wanted to tie would be required in very formal interviews. So that's the point. We need to change the habits because we have an interview. So avoiding, for instance, rings, a very fashionable rings, fashionable watch as well. People try to have fashionable. The point is not to impress someone, but sometimes you have a fashionable watch or fashionable ring or fashionable the interviewer. It will be more focused on the watch more than you are telling. So you need to avoid it. So that people like to see it. So and maybe make some prejudice to some extent. Okay, so keep in mind this idea, avoiding these luxuries issues, luxuries gadgets as well, or luxuries as a watch or as a very fashionable rings or whatever it is. Okay. Piercing will be need to be avoided as this is possible, because what I commented, I said earlier before about where we can understand what in the mind on the interviewer, and so the idea. So this we, in order to avoid it, we need to go on a neutral strategy. We wanted to call about neutral strategy to avoid prejudices, to avoid or bad opinions about us or whatever it is. Well, it's time to enter. It's time to ask someone to say, well, I'm going to have a meeting. I need to go to a meeting, and I need to this is I have an interview. I need had a meeting there, and I need to see that Mr. Tom, Mrs. Maria Gonzalez, or Mrs. Terry Lawrence, Mr. Terry Lawrence, or Mr. Lawrence. Every time in Mr. or Miss, or then would adjectives to see neutral, the same, not be more in terms of colleague or mates. No, no. This is my personal opinion. Okay, so the point is what you just said, the rest is male or female. It's the same, male or female. Say, well, sit down. It's very common. And when you are sit down waiting for someone, get out and say, come in here, and in the interview office, interview room. I think this is understandable, is what we expected. The point is you need to control, here's when you are sitting, okay? So sitting is very important to sit. So, and I said it because sometimes there are watchers, okay? A watcher is a person, a watcher is a person that are being observing you, okay? It's a person that is observing you, is observing, this is a watcher, okay? I put a nickname, a watcher. And the watcher is the secretary. And the watcher is the secretary, even though, despite the fact that that is a secretary and you might believe that the secretary is focused on their agenda, sometimes if they are observing you and they get notes, they get details about you, how you, the behavior, how you behavior here. So need to be aware about this action, okay? Never, for instance, I don't recommend never, well, playing with a mobile phone, even though the mobile phone is very important, because the same people make prejudice about you. And when you are sticking on the mobile phone, maybe they can't understand that even though you are looking for information about the company in your smartphone, so they can misunderstand this observation, and they can't understand, and they might understand that you are enrolled in, or you are playing, or you are stick to the WhatsApp with your colleagues or mates, or sharing things over you because you are boring, okay? So my approach, my piece of advice for these people is to get a very little laptop, for instance, better laptop, more than so you wanted to use laptop to tape. Taping your laptop is good. Taking your laptop is good, because it sounds to me that you are a very busy person. Okay, that's my agenda. They also prefer to have an agenda, paper agenda, and to take notes. Mark is good recommendation as well. Well, another steps to take in account is don't not cross your arms. Well, this is the sleeping positions. You are sitting, or hands up, feet on the ground. Well, feet on the ground, this is advisable thing. Don't try to cross your legs. Don't try to cross your legs. The crossing legs is not good. Feet on the ground. My grandmother said that when it comes to making decisions, you need to have your feet on the ground. And this is, my grandmother died a long time ago. He was born in the century, in 19th century, at the end of the 19th century. And every time they repeat and repeat, you need to fit your feet on the ground. Then I discovered when I studied these issues that people, when it comes to feet on the ground, the decisions are very more clear. So try to not cross your arms, try to be in the state, very hands, not crossing your hands or feet on the ground. Okay. So that's the idea in this, you are sitting, okay? So don't cross fingers, it's not allowed, crossing fingers, crossing arms as well, crossing arms, you shouldn't do that, and put your feet on the ground. Well, good questions for us. This is an exercise for today. Look at this picture. So I'll do 2 pictures. And we talk about for today to congruence. Congruence, if are those pictures congruent? Okay, good question. And the point is that we see a hand. It seems to me that this tapping the table, and another person is smiling with the hands are like this. Okay, I will see you now in exercise yourself. I decided to leave in the screen and put in the camera to see my gestures instead of it. Okay, now I'm going to leave now. I'm going to leave now a moment. Okay, I'm going to see your faces. Can you see the pictures?
Yes.
Very nice.
Yeah. Would you like to ask us which one we should follow?
Yeah, but after these explanations, might be perhaps some students, some people say, Antonio, what is congruence? What involves congruence? I have no idea about the term you are using here. Could you explain us what is congruence for you? Because I can't understand, see the hands. Well, maybe I have a perception about it, but what is congruence? Well, congruence is the body language involved. To some extent, for when you make a gesture, when you show a gesture, sometimes it's our congruence. And look at the photo, try to remember, because I'm going to put in my camera and I say some photos by myself. And then I put my camera now. Okay. Yeah, okay, you can see me. Okay, very nice, very nice. Well, I'm going to move my camera. And I also some gestures about I'm going to take a more large view about me because of my back, going to my back, and you can see me, well, very teeny maybe, but you can see my faces, my legs or one toes or whatever. Okay, I think it's perfect for me. And well, this is my face. This is, look at my face like this. So congruence, what it is, what involves congruence. Well, congruence when you feel color. You feel color is very normal. It's put like this. I don't know, it's when you are very feel frizzy, also summer. I think you are very get used to feel this summer. You feel very frizzy. You put here. Why you put my hands inside of my, trying to wrap my hands in my arms? What's your view doing that?
I don't know if we should leave a floor for the student to answer. If anyone, I have an answer, but maybe we can, if any of our students can just put something in the comments, what you are feeling with that, or just unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah. I don't know, someone wanted to say my explanation.
Yeah. I can jump and tell you my feeling. This person who tried to wrap his hand around, as you made like this, he hid something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No.
so he is not open. He is not open for. There is some secrets he tried to hit, something like this.
Yeah, and this is congruent. Congruent is like this. Sometimes you use some movements, gestures, and the gestures are very common. Is that my explanations? When you put your hands like this, you're very cold. Oh, I'm very cold. For instance, it's at minus 20 degrees, and I can't cope with this weather. However, what is not normal is not that someone that the weather is 20 over 20 over 20, someone is being like this. So this is about congruence, about in this situation, in this approach. So we feel now come back to my slides, and this is congruence about it. So we have two pictures. So I think congruence is understandable. Congruence is the way you behave, the way you put your arms, you put your when circumstances come. So it's time to, as I said before, is I always say I feel cold. I put like this because trying to get hit my hands because I feel freezing. I need to feel my hands because I can't warm my hands. Maybe I get sick, or because then I will start tremble and they can diminish my immunity system. It could be more open and virus can get enter in my body and can get a cold. I can get a virus or whatever it is. So that's my approach. This is the approach, very understandable. The idea here is like, this is the explanations about understandable, but here you have two pictures. And well, this is about, we're talking about congruence. Do you think that they are congruence? Congruence is when you are, those pictures, you see someone that is tapping. The point is, why do you need to tap the table? So when you feel someone is tapping like this, with making a noise or something like that, it feels, what you feel is more related to nervous or not.
You asking me or in general?
Well, good question.
Yeah.
It's about it. It's a good question.
Yeah.
When someone is tapping.
Yeah. For me, I think the guy who is tipping the or playing with his hand, with his fingers, is a bit nervous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Is the idea. So we might say that is not congruous because you are tapping. Is because you wanted to make a music. You wanted to do some noise in order with the aim to do something. Okay.
Yes.
So the expression of when someone is tapping is like it. So let me show you another example very quick. And to the second picture is here the second picture. This is this guy. The point is congruent or not? This is a very tricky question. It's a tricky question. Okay, we understood that being congruent is like this. The point is, well, it seems to us that it's have a very dress code with your tie, with a good shirt, well, seems to be that is smiling with the person, trying to get affection for the interview. But the point is, look at his hands, okay? And look at this. This is very important in the next interview to take into account our hands. And now we're going to do an exercise about our hands, okay? And first of all, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back for everybody to study it. And I'm going to get distance. And first of all, look at your hands. Look at your hands. And now we are going to do an exercise by ourselves. The exercise is the same positions like this. You see the position of this guy. I'm going to put here because the camera has not, is an amplitude. but look at it. Now, what you have to do is the same position, but try to make pressure. But first, before making pressure, look at your hands, look at your nails, look at your fingers, and look at the color of your fingers, okay? That's very important. And then press yourself. The most you can press yourself about the presence. And look at the color of the hands has changed or not. This is very important, okay? Or depends on the skin as well. My skin has more brown than Barkin, but also is very white, so you can distinguish the color. So what you feel when you press yourself, do you think that the color of has changed or not?
Yeah, I think.
Well, in this exercise, the color change. Okay, this is very it's very common that when you press too much in this exercise, you press too much, the color change. So here we can appreciate it. We can't appreciate it if the person are in stress or not. Okay, that's the idea. Seems to us that the pressure is not, we can see is very high or is very strong in order to know that this person, this guy has pressure too much on with the hands in order to change the color. So we might state that is making a lot of pressure or not. Okay, so we will look at, but by doing so, we might say that if we realize that the color of our candidate, for instance, just in case you are an interviewer or interview, the color of this hands change or not depend on the pressure. The more pressure you do, the more stress you are suffering. Okay, so the people try to press too much the hands when they can't control everything. Okay, when you are experiencing anxiety or stress and you try to clench your hands, when you clench your hands, you feel a lot of pressure on it. So your blood is cut and your hands change the color, change from red color or brown color to white color from this pressure. So the next time you go to an interview, think about it. Think about your hands. What is the best way to put your hands on side of the table? But as open as possible, I would say. This is my idea. Well, like this is not very common, but it's better to use like this photo like this, for instance, or inside the photo of the put this movement on the table. So it's recommendable. Okay, the more open it is, the better in terms of the interview. Well, if it's clear, let's start by showing some types of interviews. Interviews are different. Interviewers are different. Managers of interview arrangements, recruiters are different. So interviews are different. So every one of them have a very particular way to make an interview. Maybe we find yourself people that are very warm, people are very kind, people that are very friendly, people that express themselves good behavior, and we might understand that our interview has been perfect. You might get wrong. Okay, it's not the point. Sometimes you feel that the interview has been fantastic because the interview didn't behave the way they act, didn't have a good polite, never he stick to good behavior. He was very friendly, she was very friendly, she was very polite, she was very warm, and you feel, oh, after that the interview has been perfect. Maybe there is a great likelihood that I get this job. Is very this opinion very what you are thinking and what the real has a very big gap. Okay, so it depends on the person, depends on the, when I say that this approach maybe is not very accurate, because we can believe in our emotions, and the emotion said that has been fantastic, but if their emotion is not reality. And then I tell you that because sometimes the people, the interviewer or the recruiter are very warm, and you say this is like it's an actor, so they're trying to get information by being very warm. It's like the people that that I don't want to say have a mass, but this is doing by a purpose. It's doing by being a purpose to get information, and it has a reason. It has a reason, and the reason is that the more I warm in an interview as an interviewer, the more you relax. And when you relax a lot, your mask, your armor, your armor, for instance, is off. Okay, you can use your mask, you can use protections, you can prepare yourself. You are very worried about what you have to do, what you don't have to do. Your mind relax, and when your mind relax is yourself. And when you are yourself, you tell everything. Okay, that's the idea. In terms of interviewer or recruiter, is a good strategy. So we need to relax the people to feel themselves, and when they feel themselves, they will be more themselves rather than other person. So this is a proposal, this is a job, this is aim for these people. So try to understand this view, okay? This approach instead. So we need to relax. When you are relaxed, you say, oh, I put an example in structured interview. You say, oh, I see you like you work in this company. Okay, yes, I work as this supervisor. I have in charge 24 persons, and also I need to be in contact with all the departments, and also 12 people enrolled in my department. Okay, I can see, oh, very well, you are very important, you are very committed person, determined person. Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, you say, yes, of course. And the job might be very proud of you. Oh, yes. And you say, well, not 12, 25 person. Maybe there are 12 person, but they are well in short time, not all the year. It's only in a short period of time, and then come back or whatever it is. So that's the idea to understand or the different classifications range of structure. Sometimes they are very structured interview, very with candidates with questions. Sometimes we face to interviewers that they are very unstructured. When you say unstructured, they are very, we wouldn't say colic, but they are more usual, are very not as formal as the person. They are more open, free. They can say, how are you? And you say, oh, relax yourself. Let me a hand or something. And you can start and you say, how was the weather? How was the trip? Oh, fantastic. Sit down. No, it's all right. Going back to me to the canteen. I'm going to have a coffee for you. Let me know. You come from Alicante. You come from England. Oh my God, I was in England a long time ago. And then, okay, what happened with it? What happened with politics? So you see that, oh my God, I expect a structured interview, and this is unstructured. So sometimes depends on the person, we might face unstructured interviews. There are two roads different. So in person that they are very unstructured, also my recommendation is you stick to your career. Don't go on the interview speech, okay? Because if you go on the interviewer speech, maybe perhaps you might not speak anything about your professional background. So you understand this view. So you need to stick to your curriculum vitae instead of talking about England or wherever or the way you say, well, I'm here for an interview. Here I'm going to tell you about my background professional because I think it's very important for. Okay, yes. Tell me. I'm very a very talkative person. I'm very talkative person. So let me okay, apologize for it. Yeah. Let me know about it. Okay, perfect. Okay. You understand the structure and the structure interview. Panel interview is different. Panel interview, there are a lot of candidates in an interview. Maybe committee will ask questions for the candidates in different aspects. So no one person, so only 3 persons. In terms of a panel interview, my approach and my recommendations, every time you face to a committee, my only advice is ask questions. But you have a problem here. You are 3 people out there, and the people ask questions about different. So my idea is if someone asks a question to you, so finish responding with the same person that did it, the question. I mean, if I start imagine myself, you can see my face. I think so. I'm going to see, you can see my face here. Very nice. Okay, perfect. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I see and you can see my face because I see my face is frozen. I don't know.
Yes, it's a bit frozen.
A bit frozen. Okay.
It's a bit frozen, yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I don't know to leave now and enter, or at the moment we state a time and then we try day 36 or not. But well, you can hear me. I think so. It's okay.
Yeah.
So it's.
I think it will work. Yeah, you just keep going, and I think at some time it will work again.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can see my face now. Okay, but you can hear me well. That's the point. Okay. Can you hear me well?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you well. You hearing us?
Yeah, I can hear very well.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Here, what he can see in the meeting, on the meeting chat, that's the Hannah said is chain red to red for me. Chain red, this is because when you pressure yourself, so it seems to me that the red comes because blood is blood on your knee, on your fingers. So that's the purpose of this exercise. Okay. Well, question was, well, questions is like here we have the panel interview. So the same is like well, when you see someone, someone on the, you have three candidates in that way. For this is good to focus on the right and then on the left. But after when you discuss with someone that there are three people, imagine that you face three people, 1, 2, 3. Here you have one person here. Going to put like this. Okay, put use my pens. Okay, better it's the red one. Okay, so here you have three persons. Can you see this color?
Yes.
Yes, this face. So this is the three candidates, the three interviewers. It's one, and okay, it's a female, and the other one is another female. Okay, today is the breast day, in Cancer Breast Day, so it's commemoration for them, the cancer for breathing cancer, breast cancer. So it's so this is the three candidates, three interviewers. So I will face to three people, and this person first start talk. Okay, I'm going to talk like the T from talk. Okay, and ask me a question. Imagine that I'm now to see your three faces, and they ask me a question. Well, what I need to do in terms of panel interview. So I will start by talking, it's not good or rule of thumb, talking focus only that person. And people tend to do that because this person emits, start to communicate, this person start to talk. I'm the interviewer, I'm the interviewee, and or a candidate, and I need to talk to these people and forget two famous person. And it seems to me, because this question has to do with that guy, I need to observe him, observe that people, and then I forget the two communicators. It's not a good strategy because that people might feel isolated, okay? Might feel that they are involved in the panel interview. So what I might do, what I should do. So I will start with this person, and then when I was explaining, imagine I was talking about, I'm going to talking about, I don't know, I don't know, some students talking about, for instance, my background experience in hotels, or for instance, I would say, well, I was in Canary Islands. I was in my background has to do with Canary Islands in the hotels. Then I will start by explaining. Then, well, here, this is a big department with different countries are involved because the big corporations about United States, and then I would say, well, my duties were stay in contact with the staff of the people, training or making courses, stay in contact with them. And then I try to teaching the people from these hotels that belong to the company. Then, and also I try, well, as I say, we are talking about achievements, and we say we move every time, first 1 second, 3, 1 second, and then when I finish my and then I decided to come back to the mainland in 90 whatever, in the 20s or whatever, and I finish with the first person that emits the first question. Do you understand the idea? So the idea is start by involving the rest of the person, however, finish with the person that state the first question. Never finish with other guy, in this case, female guy. State is better to finish with the person. So this is the idea of in terms of panel interview. In terms of it, okay? Can you hear me well?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Can you understand? You understand the?
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Very nice. Well, apart from that, there are group interviews. It's the chief candidate or a group. Sometimes you face, you need to, well, you go to an interview and you, when you enter an interview, you feel that you are not alone. There are more candidates are beside you, are inside the room, and you say, "Oh my God, this is very stressful," because this could be my competitor. Okay, and you start to face the people. You say, "Oh my God, I'm trembling. This is maybe it's him. It seems to me that he's dressed. The seems stronger. It seems to me that he's very more smart than me. So forget it about it. They are not, they are emotions, and emotions, forget it about it. You need to be realistic. This is unrealistic, okay? The same opportunities have the people that are around you, the same opportunities have you yourself. So it's not a question to say, to make predictions, which is better or not, because it's emotions, our emotions. Our emotions, you need to forget it about it, to be real, okay? So the idea here, maybe you have to play. You have to state a group questions, maybe because a large number of applications for a few jobs I need to do, or there are a lot of candidates, or you need to discuss something about the interview. So sometimes the questions are very strange, are very rare, very weird. So don't try to see an approach, because what you have to do is how you explain yourself, how you communicate yourself, how you deal the questions, but not trying to get, because a positive or negative response aren't. So it's not a perfect response. Perfect response are very flexible. There is a gap of different solutions for any situation. And what they wanted to do is to show how your skills are, how you manage your skills. So better than if you solve a question or not. Deep interviews, semi-structured, where candidates will have to give detailed information about their education, background, work experience, very focused on it. A stress interview, welcome to the stress interview. So stress interviews are very common nowadays. It's, well, there are some interviewers that like a stress interview, well, a stress interview involves that the candidates, the interviewers, wants to know how you handle in a complex environment, in a stress environment, how you manage yourself, how you handle the situation in terms of a complex in a stress environment. And you say stress environment, stress background, stress. You need to know, well, what is your, well, in stressful conditions, what you do. People can cope with stress conditions, stressful conditions. This is very difficult to handle. Other people can maintain the compass, the skills, compensate the behavior. They're very normal. They can to find the solutions. They don't get immersed in the stress. They can control very self, as the person can control the stress and can get a solution also. Okay, so keep in mind that sometimes the stress interview has a purpose. It has a purpose, and the purpose is to immerse you in a candidate. So my piece of advice is, in terms of, if you feel that it's interest interviews, you need to control your mindset. You need to control your mind. You need to control the way you behave. You need to the posture, the gesture. That need to maintain. Don't lose the nervous. Don't get lose the nerves, like to control them in order to handle a stressful step, because it's something. So I think you can understand very well what a stress interview involves in this desk when you decided to to create an environment very strange. Maybe the candidate starts to raise the voice. Maybe the candidate talk very quickly, talk very high, talk with no manners, and you feel, oh my God, what happened? No insulting, because it's not, I think it's discrimination, but create something stress interview. They can speak very quickly, speak very quick the questions. What happened on it? What do you do? And you say, well, I was no, 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 no. Going to the nitty gritty. What you did? What did you? What did? Well, at the first, I will start by working as the work department. Then I will grow and promote to the. No, but for me, what interesting is supervisors. Go to the nitty gritty. I repeat, go to the nitty. What did you do in the supervisor? Forget it that you say, oh my God. So this is a stress interview. Okay. So keep in mind, it sometimes is making with a purpose. It's not. It's something that you need. They need to show. It's like a Big Brother program, Big Brother. So they want you to show how you handle the behavior. So it's something that will finish or not, depend. But they want you to know. And sometimes they did it because they know they very well the person that is going to join with you, maybe your future boss, is a very stressful person, and they want you to show how you can't have a good confidence has a good can live can't share moments in a very normal situation, and you can call him in future. Well, let's start by today making some exercise for tests like this test in vocabulary. So let me before the exercise, before the break, that is very common to have to attend some leadership exercises. In this interview, sometimes people face you to a test about everything: psychological tests, skill tests, calculation tests, personality tests, whatever it is. So sometimes before an interview, you need to do some tests, and before the interview, you say, well, I need you to do that test. The workshop is very short, 12 hours. It contains 12 hours and can do a lot of personality tests or whatever it is. So I chosen one of your tests. I'm going to show you. I give you 5 minutes to read the questions and to fill the gaps. It's not very complicated. I see with 3 or 4 minutes, you can't do it. That you wanted to comment, I can do myself, everybody. I can join your set to say, Josh, I think it's good for students to know about this fair exercise. Can you see it? Also, it's in the material that Tamer, can you hear me, Tamer?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Because it's the material that
yes, it's in the way now. If the student with me just 1 second, it will be online.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'm going to leave now. I'm going to re-enter to see if my camera works. So I'm going to do so while camera
So the teaching material now is online, so student can
Thank you.
access it.
Thank you very much, Samer.
Yes.
Okay, so if you can access to this material, or
Yes.
also I can put it here on my screen to share. Can you see the questions?
And this is a password.
Can you see the questions?
Here or in if I download the teaching material.
Can you
Here,
see the
no,
yes?
here we can't see because you didn't share the screen.
Oh, okay. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Perfect. And now, can you see my questions?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So I think that this is because an exercise before you want to for students. I think so. I'm going to, as I said sometimes. So I'm going to read the questions. So you need to do yes or no. So I'm going to do in a groups with an activity group to try to questions to you and to say if you agree or don't agree. You want it as a room, a very big room, and now we can share opinions. Now I'm focused on my screen, and then well, I'm going. Well, first question said, Stan, what you need to do is you have here you have a scale, Likert scale. This is very common in economics. Likert scale start from 1 to 5. There are other Likert scales. They say positive, negative, neutral, and very positive, positive, neutral, negative, very negative. However, you have a ratio, you have a rating. You need 5 numbers, and you need to grade. 5 could be the highest, and the 1 would be the lower. Okay, so virtually never, virtually always. And you need to show this leadership. Imagine that you go to an interview and you need to see you, the interviewer, wanted to know that you have some skills before the interview. Okay, so let's start by the first question. They say, stands behind employees backing their decisions and advocates for them to hire management. So I think it's understandable. If you say, well, stand behind employees. You need to go. You need to go back. You need to forget your ego and to go back. Okay, stands behind employees. I think it's clear. You say 5, 4, 3, 4. Someone didn't understand anything, so knows how to delegate tasks. Delegation is very important in terms of but remain available for consultations. Okay, delegations. How to delegate tasks. You know that sometimes you need to delegate. However, you are a person to delegate and forget it. No, it's someone's say for consultation. Just in case you try to you haven't worked in a job, but it's good to think about is how you see your view, how you see yourself working in the department in future, and what you will do, because you know yourself a lot about you. And however, just in case, if you work in a company or something, what was your reaction? What is your behavior? Do you think that you are a person that want to delegate or not, or whatever it is? Take discretionary action very in short period of time, probably very rapidly, probably unfairly, very fairly judge fairly without being over harsh or demanding. Apart from that, you need to take discretionary action. Unfair, you are a fair person, fairly person. You say 5, he says 0, 1, not. Sets high performance standards for self and subordinates, and sets high performance standards for self and subordinates performance standards. So make a plan, high performance standards. Performance in everywhere for you, for self and subordinates as well, in terms of whatever it is, in terms of goals, with awards, or whatever it is. As soon as he's aware of problems, sit down with a subordinate who has not met expectations, coach them, and works with them to perform better. When you are aware of a problem, you're aware of a problem, you sit with this person, subordinates, and coach him, coach them. It's more leadership. Provide feedback is very important, the feedback. Okay? Can you provide feedback? Do you like feedback to employees and how they are doing their job? Like they say, you say 5, you say, well, 5, not too much. We decide to put 3 or 4, whatever it is. So for me, it's not, I'm not going to ask the result. Okay, it's not something for me important. It's about you. Okay, so think about more about it. I want to ask you questions. Let me know the points about it. No, it's to be, I think it's better to be honest yourself. And you say, well, in terms of leadership, for instance, use more praise and positive feedback than negative feedback. People, it's very common in professors, lecturers at the university. Also, I do believe that you know some professors or lecturers that they are very negative. Negative, no, in terms of they never praise anyone, and they never make any positive feedback. Okay? You have in your mind some professor, lecturer nowadays, or also colleague, that this is in departments or other department or whatever it is. Refrain from letting some employees get away with less effort than others. Well, you are a very fair person, and you need to be fair in terms of refer to get away to less effort than others. You need to cut these actions in terms to be fair and not discriminate people. Well, 9 questions can persuade others to adopt your point of view with coercions. Can allow others to adopt his/her point of view without coercion. You can persuade people. You can persuade. You say, well, I persuade. The other persuade something is well, ask yourself, for instance, question. You say, Antonio, is that I'm not working now? I can't see my mind. So in terms of persuasion, I would say, for instance, you can persuade your mother to have a meal rather than other. You say, well, I can persuade my mother that instead of have a vegetable, I hate vegetables, just in case, me no. But you say, I prefer a chicken, fried chicken or hamburger. Mom, why do you not focus today on making a beautiful pizza rather than vegetables? Your mother say, well, I'm going to do that. Okay, this is talking about persuasion, persuade someone. Okay? Makes positive use of conflict by encouraging discussions of different points of view. Okay, make positive use of conflict. So the positive idea said share our point of view by encouraging discussion of they have no fear of conflict. And you say, well, let me show you your views. Keep employees informed all the time about things that might affect them. This is more planning, making goals, establishing and setting up goals. For instance, keeping employees. You like to inform about the goals of the company, what they need to do. Takes the long-term view without getting too focused on strictly short-term results. So instead of this is going strategy, long-term view without getting too much on short-term results. This is the view approach is more in the long term. Listen well, shows empathy and concern when I have a problem. So listen well, empathy. Empathy is to listen someone. You can listen. So empathy is putting the shoes of the people, shows empathy. So, I like these questions because you can take advantage of this question, trying to underline which words you use in the interview. So for me, it's fantastic for taking advantage of it, trying to underline the words delegations, to try performance, try to remember to inform the people, encourage discussions, no questions, listen to people, empathy, open door policy, whatever it is. So try to underline this question, try to learn by her those questions, and try to use those words in the next interview. Open door policy makes himself available to the staff when needed. Open door, okay. Refuse tolerate bigotry or narrow-mindedness among the store, okay. Someone that are very dominant persons also in the staff. So we see very dominant persons, and we need to stick the lines, which are the red flags. What are the red flags? And the red flags has not been crossed, okay, or red lines, depends. Okay, we talk Twitter, red flags or red lines. Helps employees discover their own solutions, and not to solve the solutions, but helps them to discover their own solutions. Keep conflict among employees getting out of control, and instead works to reach a common understanding. Okay, instead of forgetting conflict, so let's start forgetting about emotions. So let's start to the nitty-gritty. Is finding a strategy. Tries to be patient with the staff when implementing a change. So another very important question: conflict. Avoiding conflict, or tries to be patient. Actively looks for ways to challenge and develops all workers. Last but not least, we have opens up. Not too much, but in order to assure them that she is not cold and distant. We need to be open. When they say open, not too much, is, well, flexible, maybe be fun. Maybe it's not because you're you go try to get communication with joke or involve more rapidly in these comments with the people, to participate also in funny questions or comments for but with a way to this is work and this is fun, and we have not to be very fun, be involved in fun, but we need to work. So distinguish when to be fun and distinguish when you need to be. So that's the questions. Do you have more or less your results? Can you calculate the numbers? Can you hear me?
Yes. There is enough. Our student can.
Yeah. Well.
So we have to give a number from 1 to 5.
Exactly. And now when you calculate it, you need a calculator, machine calculator to plus the results, to plus the final number. So when you just make the numbers here, put 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you need to plus the calculator. Remember that the maximum number is 100%. Okay, this is the maximum number. Could be it would be 100%. You are very close to 100%. You might this test, very simple test indeed, but they might say that you have good skills in terms of leadership. Leadership, remember, this is very important in terms of any supervisor job, any manager job. Also, you wanted to entrepreneur someone, and they are really, really important. Also, in terms of promotions, I have good memory when I was working in these complex hotel big corporations. that need a program of training and you wanted to have to be a supervisor, you need to have the course of leadership. Okay, involves any hours, but you need to do, and you need to show that you have the skill. You want to be a supervisor. So the results, when you just calculate numbers, so are here. I'm going to show this information. So calculate an average score of each questions, but average all responses. For example, you receive 5 complete calculating average for the 5 on question 5 to pay particular attention to any questions with a rating less than 4. The further is under 4, the greater the need for the work area. So this is an approach. So we might set that 80 questions is, well, more or less depends on to pass or not. They are different approach. But you have less than 4 in every area, in every question. So try to look at what you decided to score by 3 or by 2 instead of 4 or 5. So this is a personal approach. In order to know why you decided to do that. You can't, it's the same, like we did it yesterday, try to personal assessment to say, well, I can't make with my strengths solve this question. So this is a personal development for your own career. So the idea, you can say that, well, use the questions with a rating less than 4. So we might say that, well, 80% could be a good grade, okay, between 70, 80%. So we might say that we can accomplish the idea of leadership skills. More than 80%, and in the gap between 80% to 100%, we are very excellent. So we might say, so for any interview, maybe and 70, between from 70 to 80, 100%, you accomplish the idea. But divided into parts, people that were okay, it's good, and excellent. Excellent is more than 80. 80 would be excellent, or 80, 90 would be very excellent skills in terms of leadership. And then a personal approach is addition is for you is people that when you have a score in a questions less than 4. This is a personal goal in order to know, well, is why I decided to do that. Try to look at yourself, about your strengths, your weaknesses. Sometimes you feel timid, maybe you feel you're timid, try to get advances with a course or not. So this is the okay. Have you done this exercise? Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. There is wanted someone. I want to praise yourself, and you wanted someone, a student wanted to share.
Yeah. Some of the students, yeah, to give numbers or so.
Yeah, some students wanted to share the numbers. Remember that 100% is the maximum. If there is a student that say, oh my God, 90%, you say, oh, fantastic. It sounds very good, because 90% you need to be proud in terms of this leadership. Also, you can say, well, when I make some leadership tests, I feel that I have all these abilities. In order to be useful while the people calculate the numbers at home, remember that, as said before, every time that you have the opportunity to see this test, take advantage of it by learning by heart questions, words that are very useful for using in an interview. The more positive questions, positive word used in an interview, the better. So talks about words that increase the power to convince someone, and this reflection show that when you use words that positive in terms of what you have been testing as leadership, and you said, well, I help people, I listen people, okay, help people, I listen people, as those empathy. I say, explain empathy. What involves empathy? Well, empathy is I try to put in the shoes of the people. Oh my God, I like you, this idea. I inform the employees. I praise. I praise them and give positive feedback rather than negative feedback. Okay. And also I set a standard. I tend to set standards for people, for my subordinates. I know that a delegation, I need to delegate tasks. And every time that you have in a conversation, involved in a conversation, it's very good to share this question, because the interviewer is not listen to you and know about you. And when you listen that words, they say that guy, that female person are very, 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 they are telling the truth, because they use words that there has to do with what is leadership. So, so any questions about it? Questions? Everything is okay? Well, it's an approach. I give you time to make calculation. I think it's time to make someone wanted to after the break share our calculation numbers. So it's up to you. I wanted to force you to do that, however it is. Someone say, well, I have good method. So it's time to have a break and 20 minutes to go to the toilet, to have a coffee or whatever it is. So I think so at more or less 11:50, maybe 11:50. Tamar, it's okay, 11:50.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 11:50 more or less.
Yeah.
More we come back.
20 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah, 20 minutes. So I put here then 11 for 11 come back. Well, is the time to
It's
to
10:50, Anton, right?
okay, 10:50. Yeah.
Is the time now 11:50 on Alicante or 10?
No, you are it's 10:50. Yeah, it's the
10:50,
same.
10:50. Okay, yes.
10:50. Okay, perfect. But I'm going to switch off the camera, and 10 20 minutes we come back.
Super.
Thank you very much.
Yep.